pick the cotton. So they actually imported 25 families from Mexico, recruited them to come here and work the area. Since then, the city has grown into what you'll see today. Behind me is the old Adobe Mission Church. This was built in 1933 and was an active part of the community here in Old Town Scottsdale for many, many decades after that. The church did fall into disrepair into the late 80s, 1990s, and was recently refurbished after a fundraising campaign. I'm here in Tonto National Park. This is a national park that's a 30-minute drive east of Scottsdale. Really pretty area. There's the mountains, obviously lots of cacti, a lot of different animal life you can see here, but more importantly, the Salt River. This is the main river that runs from the mountains down through the center of Phoenix, and we're going to go on a kayaking trip down the Salt River and check it out. Should be interesting. You know, last night everyone was like, "Oh, Matt, come out for one beer. We'll have you in bed early enough so you can be up by 7 a.m. the next day." And you know how those things work out. But I'll suffer through. I think I'll make it. Just one more beer, they said last night. We'll be back home soon. 4 hours later.
The Salt River itself begins at the meeting of the Black and White River high in the mountains of Tonto National Park, then winds its way down out of the park and through Phoenix. The river is a popular place for kayakers, fishermen, odd-looking birds, and city-dwelling travel video makers engaging in dangerous activities. We then finished up at Scenic Red Mountain, named because, well, you get it.
Here in the northern outskirts of Scottsdale is Taliesin West. Now, you may not have heard of Taliesin itself, but I guarantee you've heard of the designer and the owner. That's Frank Lloyd Wright, the most famous architect in all of U.S. history. Now, Taliesin served as Frank Lloyd Wright's winter home from 1937 until his death in 1959. He would come here to escape the cold of the upper Midwest in Wisconsin. Now, Taliesin not only served as a workshop for him to test out his ideas and to play around with some of his architectural ideas, but also served as a kind of informal university. He actually had young high school age and college age students come here and test out their ideas and learn under his tutelage. Today when you visit, it's a working museum. There's people who are living here year-round, and you can explore where he actually lived, where his wife lived, and a lot of the meeting spaces and the public spaces that he uses as part of the university. The other interesting part about this is he bought the place at the time back in the 30s when land was only $3.50 an acre. When you come and visit today, you'll see it's surrounded by the sprawl of greater Phoenix. You'll see suburbs and development all around. But it's a really beautiful area of the desert, and you get to really get into the mind of Frank Lloyd Wright when you visit. Interesting thing that was pointed out here is Frank Lloyd Wright really pioneered the idea of combining the glass into one single scene, so it seemed like you were part of the outdoors. It's one of his ways of integrating the nature and the outdoors with the interior portion of the building.
Okay, Taliesin may not be for extreme sport enthusiasts, but Wright's influence on the American cultural landscape is hard to underestimate, and a visit here is a great way to learn about him and see why he was so unique. It's called culture, people. Stay with me here. Travel's not all about fun and games.
So we're hiking here at the Trailhead Loop. This is a trail in the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. This is amazingly a 20,000 acre preserve that's only about 20 minutes from the center of Scottsdale. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad sign that the sign is in Comic Sans, but we'll let it go this time. Of course, it's 105 degrees today. We left around 7 in the morning, so it's a little better time to get out and explore because you're only pushing around like 95, 96 degrees, so it's a little better this time of year. So what you'll see behind me is the classic saguaro cactus. This is the probably the most iconic plant in all of Arizona. Saguaro is actually native only to this part of Arizona, which is the Sonoran Desert. So if you see a saguaro cactus in a movie that's supposed to take place in like Utah or New Mexico, you know it's actually filmed here. Saguaro is interesting. It's very similar to much of the other part of Arizona. It's a very senior citizen. They actually take 10 years to grow 1 foot. Also, the saguaro is the only cactus with the classic barrel arm that goes off to the side.
I had a chance to speak with Phil Richards of Arizona Outback Adventures, our trail guide for the day, to ask him more about the trail and which animals exactly could potentially kill us as we wandered around.
Today we're in the McDowell Mountain Preserve. It's a preserve that's been purchased, the land's been purchased by the citizens of the city of Scottsdale. It amounts to about 42,700 acres. It's the largest municipal park in the United States. Here we have what we call locals that are out here every day, whether they're hikers, runners, equestrian, mountain bikers, they're here every day. And then the rest of them are just tourists that come and their friends and family bring them out to one of the best preserves in the United States. In the winter and in the fall and the spring, you'll see more of our animal life, but they're nocturnal mainly, which means they'll come out late afternoon. That'll be coyote. You can see mountain lion very infrequently, possibly Gila monster again very infrequently. We have deer out here, coyotes, desert tortoise, rattlesnakes, king snakes, bull snakes. Every experience is different. In the spring, you're going to see flowers. In early morning, you're going to wow, I'm out of the heat, and you might see some animals. There's obviously every time I've seen a rattlesnake that get your attention. I personally like rattlesnakes, and so they're always interesting. But it's when you find that maybe that rare thing, the Gila monster that I've seen maybe 4 times in 30 years out here. It's the only venomous lizard in the United States. Or the desert tortoise is a big thing that just moves very slowly, and you hardly ever see them. Those would be my favorites, yeah.
Welcome, come on into my lair. This is my pad here at Hotel Valley Ho in Scottsdale. Okay, to be honest, this is probably not a place I would normally be able to stay in, but you know, once in a while I get hooked up here with the job. So this is considered the suite. It's a sweet suite, I would probably consider it if I was to use an adjective. But it's a beautiful, beautiful space. There are smaller hotel rooms, but you know, if you want to be a baller, this is the place you stay. This is like everything you'll see in here is kind of like jet age style, streamlined, cool colors. This is like, in other words, stuff I would never do on my own at my house. I have like, mine's more like a Goodwill aesthetic than this. So this is your kitchen. You sit down here for breakfast and hang out, or romantic dinner, or if you're me, eating in front of the computer. But you know, that's another story. All right, so the kitchen here. Obviously, everyone's interested to see what's in your refrigerator. Well, it's technically a wet bar. At home, I normally don't have tiny bottles of Red Label and Maker's Mark, but this would be my dream kitchen. Chocolate-covered strawberries and booze, but you know. But it's also Arizona, electrolytes. This is very, very important. And have you come over here? This is my living room. I mean, this is like the best couch in the world. You can't not be comfortable here. Just kind of lounge out. This is not a work couch. This is like fall asleep in the desert heat couch, or other things, which I can't say on camera. This is really, really nice.